What's up, guys? We're about to watch Muteki versus Idea, two fellow Zettscord members duke it out for their Mugulis Cup matchup. So, let's see. Tar on Tar, switch to Pert as Muteki DDs. We go for EQ. That's a pretty offensive Swampert. I think if this is Dedge Tyranitar, it's not. Okay. Opting to just trade the Tyranitar into Swampert. Okay. This might be slop from Muteki. As Data Expunge goes into Celebi. Right, yeah, slop typically has the N-Pert, some other fun guys like DD Ments. But I wonder what Muteki's take on the team is. Data Expunge has a pretty slop-esque team, just from the first three, but we don't know. I mean, the Swampert doesn't have N-Pert, doesn't have an N-Pert set, so I wonder what they're gonna go for. If I had to guess, it might be like an Arabi kind of team from Idea, but I would assume based on the initial gameplay from Muteki that they didn't want to bring their Scarm in to just stud into Swampert, just eat chip, and then because there was some discussion in the Zettscord recently about the value of toxicking a Swampert versus spiking on it, but if it's N-Pert, right, like it's probably gonna sub on the toxic if it had to, unless you think it's gonna Hydro Burst, which that makes sense if it's turn 1. As Muteki subs down into Salic range, and Idea is gonna lose her Celebi, because yeah, you don't really restore that much HP. Oh wow, 12%'s not too bad. But yeah, Torrent range is gonna knock it out. As she has her own arrow, yeah, Arabi makes sense here. Probably Skarmory, and the last could be many things. Salamence, Jirachi, maybe even Starmie. Brings in a Registeel. Yeah, this is true slop gaming. So we got Slop versus Arabi. These are, in theory, two Ferdazi teams, which is pretty epic. Shout out Ferdazi. Ooh. That's a good switch by Muteki. I wonder if you would have... You Endeavor the Pert. I was going to say, I wonder if you ever consider just pecking on that turn, since you know Muteki knows the Swampert's in spike range, and typically Slop doesn't carry a spinner. Jirachi makes sense. That's one of the variants for Arabi. I don't remember the set on this one. I don't think it's Bolt Beam. I think it's Sci-Fire, but I just genuinely haven't looked at that set in a minute. Body Slam. Okay. So maybe it's a Wishrachi. Or mixed. Both are pretty potent. Potent last. But I'm guessing since you don't really have a true special wall, yeah, you probably want Celebi to be, or rather Jirachi. And that's a huge burn onto Registeel, meaning it is not going to be a long-term wall into Aerodactyl. And your only options, really, if you're Muteki, is probably just Intimidate shifting in the late game. But you have to just find an opportunity to set up on Jirachi and pray you don't get paired. But it really depends on the coverage, because if you're EQ-less, then that'd be pretty rough. It really depends on the Salamence coverage. I've recently liked using the DD Fire Blast set. That's been pretty fun. So like DD Fire Blast, Brick Break, and then I like Rock Slide to touch the birds, but you could, oh sorry, not Rock Slide. I was doing DD, Brick Break, Fire Blast, HP Flying. That's been pretty fun. As he sends in his Raikou. Ooh, do you get a sub off? Typically these Jirachis have enough attack to break through sub, but doesn't even risk it as Idea goes into her Tyranitar. Surely you just trade Raikou, right? I mean, the last two have to be at least Ments, and then I don't know what you would opt for. Gengar, Jirachi, Gengar, Celebi is a typical Pokemon that is used to round out Slop. because the trifecta is obviously Tyranitar, Swampert, and Salamence. Registeel is a pretty good glue. Raikou just kind of breaks through the Aerobee kind of structures. If Celebi was still alive, this Raikou likely has Crunch. Maybe it is, yeah, then it's likely subless Raikou now that I think about it, right? Because they'll typically have T-Bolt, Crunch, and HP Grass. Maybe Ice, but I mean, you already have the means of breaking through Swampert, so I guess Ice to me makes more sense, honestly. As Muteki opts to trade his Tyranitar. If they have a Celebi, then probably send it in now, but you could get outmaneuvered depending on what you click. If you have Gengar, you probably don't have enough damage to kill through this Tyranitar, since it's probably a roll, but I've typically seen Gengars do around 42. Let's see. It's a Celebi. You could get outmaneuvered here, because if they go Skarm, yeah. On the Giga Drain, yeah. Good play by Idea. As they opt for the HP Fire, Toxicking the Skarmory. I don't remember if these are Tox Tech or Drill Peck. It's probably Peck Roar if I have to guess. So, okay, it's Tech. Okay. Well, you likely just trade down the Celebi, and then he won't give you the opportunity. I don't know about Giga Draining there. I mean, unless you're just trying to sack Celebi into the DD Ments endgame. But all Idea has to do is, if she ever goes into Arrow on Celebi, goes for the double protect and gets it. All Idea has to do is just not click a move that Salamence resists, and she wins this game. So yeah. Just letting this game play out, and she roars. If you're Muteki, you probably sack. Actually, no. You probably save the sack, because he can't let. She can't let you Dragon Dance here. So you kill Skarmory, you sack Celebi, and then bring back Ments. This is getting really spicy, because I think this needs a flinch to win on Data Expunge's side. And does she get it? She does not. And now Muteki's in the driver's seat. Is it Rocks? Oh, it misses the Rock Slide! No! No! That's so tough. Oh, man. Wow. Yeah, if that Rock Slide landed, that would have just been a reverse from Muteki. Yeah, both of them acknowledge that you know, it was rough luck, and both wish each other good luck. We'll see what they bring for game 2. That was a close one, as the nature of two Ferdazi teams going against each other. Not too much of a defensive backbone outside of, you know, sheer typing, as much as through sheer bulk that other, you know, classic ADV teams will usually have. I'm not too familiar with both of these players' team selection. I typically see them post replays of like offenses. At least Idea will usually play with some offenses. I don't know if Muteki will use a kind of a more balanced team or opt for another offense, but I don't expect these games to really go past 50 turns between these two gamers. Doesn't seem like there's another game posted yet. I'm monitoring the lobby chat right now. But yeah. Mugulis Cup's been pretty fun so far, honestly. My first round, I was completely trolling. I just brought V5 Golem. and my lead Doug had Tri-Attack instead of Aerial Ace, and lo and behold, the first Pokemon I see is a Breloom. So I just gave up on that first match. I was just like, okay, all right. I honestly don't remember what I brought game 2. I just started a new job, so I kind of just brought whatever that first week. I honestly didn't even realize there was a losers bracket, and so I figured, okay, maybe I can sort of try. And yeah, I brought a funny Solomon's team and a Vaporeon stall team. Pretty good. Both were pretty good to play with, and you know, it's always fun to play different team styles in advance. Not that you really have to, you know, vary the team selection, but it's nice to not make you an easy scout. Not that I think my opponent was scouting me. So it doesn't look like they started another match here. Let's see what other matches people are doing. It looks like Mr. Ferdazi also brought Slop and seems to have achieved a 6-0 in 16 turns. What happened here? Double edges the Zap. Interesting. Doesn't look like CB damage, that just looks like the Slop lead. Eats a hidden power. It's like a modest Zapdos. That does so much damage. Redo. CM, yep. Always set up. Always set up with Raikou. Crunch. Yeah, that could not have been the right play there to CM with your own Celebi, because you just get KO'd. I think that's just scouting death, but whatever. You go into Fortress, who will eat a Thunderbolt, but what do you do in response? EQ does nothing to this Raikou. Yeah, there's no way. This is probably an end pert, but I know Ferdazi, they do HP Grass on their Raikou. What do they do? Yeah, they bring in Houndoom. This is just Raikou food. This team just absolutely melted by Raikou. It goes into Jirachi, Fire Punch. Yeah, Fire Grass coverage on Jirachi is super duper threatening. Eat a Thunderbolt up. Something tells me it's like a bulky Jirachi, but it just has the goated coverage. Doesn't look like another match has started yet. Actually it did. Alright, let's go into it. Oh my goodness, hold on. Spoilers. We're not going to talk about that. Okay, it's Tar versus Meta. Usually you switch out as Tar into a Cloyster, which is not like that Choice Band Metagross. Oh my goodness. As she gets the attack raise on her Metagross, this is super duper behind for Idea, for Muteki. Oh my gosh, the Metagross lives on 1? Holy crap. That's rather honorable to stay in with your own Metagross with the boost. Just figure just trade into it. You can't really guarantee there's anything slower that you can always boom on. Not valuing the sack as much as the damage you can get on this Metagross. Just, I mean, the last two could be something like Gengar or Jolteon, as Idea traps with the Magneton. Good switch. Good switch from Mence into Mag, which covers Rock Slide and Metagross coming back in. This is a mixed Mence with a probably DD Mence, I guess. I mean, it could be mixed. No, it is mixed. Okay. And this is super duper behind for Muteki. We opt for just DD, Rock Slide. Okay, so you can't be Intimidate shuffled with your Aerodactyl, but yeah, that's like the last Pokemon you want to see. So it's like a kind of standard blue offense from Idea, and a really interesting team from Muteki. Just a super aggressive Spikes offense. It's slower than Jolteon. Oh, rather the Jolt was slower, but that was just a Roar turn. As it looks like both players are wishing each other GG, and yeah, this is a just tough matchup for this type of team. I don't know if opting for Cloyster lead is more apt. I would think so, because you have the Jolteon, so you could always just go from Cloy to Jolt. And on the matchups where you can Spike, you get it up early, possibly boom, and then yeah, go from there. But yeah, good game to both of these players, and happy to see if there's any more Zettscord players that have sets against each other, and I'll comment them. But yeah, thanks guys. Have a good one.